Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise from Prince Muhammad Ali's palace in Maniel in the heart of Cairo. Prince Muhammad Ali, of course, is the grandson of Muhammad Ali Pasha. With us now in this segment is Mr. Hisham Khamis, and he is responsible for scientific archives and documentation here at the palace. Thank you very much, Mr. Khamis, for joining us. Great pleasure. Thank you for hosting us. So, what can you tell us first about Prince Muhammad Ali, the owner of this beautiful palace?
As you said, Muhammad Ali is the grandson of Muhammad Ali Pasha, the Great. He is the son of Khedive Muhammad Tawfiq, son of Ismail Pasha, son of the leader Ibrahim Pasha, son of Muhammad Ali Pasha, the Great. Means that he is the grand son of Muhammad Ali Pasha, the Great, because some people are confusing between Muhammad Ali
that's
Pasha,
true.
the Great, and the Prince Muhammad Ali Tawfiq. The Prince was born in Cairo in 1875 and has died in Switzerland in 1955 at the age of 80. He studied in his primary education here in Cairo in Al-Anjal school in from 1881 to 1883. Then he completed his military sciences in Switzerland and Austria. Before he returned back with his elder brother Abbas Hilmi second. This is about his education. His father is Khedive Muhammad Tawfiq, whose reign witnessed the British occupation and also the revolution of the leader Ahmad Arabi, or Al-Arabi revolution. Muhammad Ali Tawfiq, the man of a great background in many fields. He was very fond of Islamic arts. That's why he collected all the Islamic art styles here in the palace. He collected all the Fatimid and Ottoman and Abbasid and Andalusi and Persian styles of art here, as we will see in the palace.
Right. He was buried here in Egypt, right?
Yeah. As
he asked for that.
Yeah, he recommended in his will, which he wrote it in 1925, to be buried here in Egypt. And actually he is buried here in Afandina Dome in Al-Mamalik Cemetery Desert. Al-Mamalik Desert Cemetery in Manshiyat Nasir area. Actually he was buried here as his will, and he mentioned in his will also to endow some of his agricultural lands to spend on the palace. From this money, the government were spending to do a lot of
renovations and restorations. Yes. And his mother is Amina Hanim, right?
Ilhami, or in Arabic al-Muhsinin, mother of benefactors. Before of her charitable works, the Egyptian people loved her very much. She built a lot of mosques, a lot of water fountains in all the aspects of Egypt. For example, she built a fountain in Ramses Square, the fountain of the mother of Muhammad Ali As-Saghir. It's still until now available in Ramses Square.
Yes. Now, Mr. Khamis, the interiors, surrounds, gardens are famous here in the palace for rare collections of trees and plants.
Okay.
Could you tell us about that?
Yes. He was very fond of plants and adapting the plants also. He In the beginning of the construction here, he combined the chief gardener of the palace and traveled around the world and collected a lot of rare plants to bring it here and plant it here in the palace. Yeah, the area of the garden here about 34,000 meters square, about 14 acres, and
Huge.
huge and from different climate areas.
One of a kind, yeah, from
Yes,
different
yes.
climatic zones.
Yes, yes, yes. From
So the prince also put engineering, we understand,
Yes,
and,
yes.
and decorative designing and supervised construction. So could you tell us about his care for,
actually,
for that?
he supervised all the agriculture and decorative work here, but the implementation was done by the master or Muallim Muhammad Afifi, as we will see on the foundation plate, which we will see on the above the entrance of the palace, that he established this palace to revive the Islamic arts, and he put the name of Muhammad Afifi beside his name, and
That's a great recognition,
this is,
and humbleness from the part of the prince.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes.
This is a great honor and a great humbleness.
We can see here Fatimid influence. We can see what else?
All
Mamluk.
the Islamic
Yeah.
art style we will see here in the mosque, all on the mosque, in the residence saraya. Saraya, it's an Arabic expression.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can see a small palace.
Mm.
Okay, in the residence saraya and reception saraya, and in the all aspects of the museum we will see all the Islamic arts styles.
Wonderful. Now, what are the most important events that took place inside this palace, Mr. Khamis?
Actually, the Ministry of Antiquities is organizing a lot of events here, social events, medical conferences, wedding, as we
we
have
saw
today.
yeah,
We
a
have
couple
today a
today,
wedding, a wedding party. A lot of events, social and scientific, and all the kinds of events are done here by the ministry.
Have you been affected by the corona, and are we back to normal after the COVID-19
Everything
pandemic?
is normal now, but we still taking the all the procedures to avoid any infection.
Right. Mr. Khamis, the location of the palace, I guess, is very important. I mean, after all, this is the heart of Cairo, more or less. So could you tell us
Still
more
we
about the
need
location?
some advertisement about the palace, because unfortunately a lot of people don't know a lot about the palace, and
True.
some people are confusing between Muhammad Ali Pasha and the prince.
Very
Muhammad
true
Ali.
as well.
Muhammad Ali Pasha has another palace, is still under revolution, will be open very soon here in Shobra, and we are inviting everybody to come here and visit the palace from the Egyptian and foreign people.
And what about the mosque in the citadel? Is it connected to the family?
This is belongs to Muhammad Ali Pasha, the Great.
Yeah, the great.
The Great.
That great,
Ah.
that beautiful mosque in the citadel, and the Salah
belongs
ad-Din
to
citadel.
to Muhammad
Yeah.
Ali Pasha. This
Yeah.
mosque is small, but in spite this mosque is very small, but you can consider it as a marvelous masterpiece, containing a lot of Islamic arts, as we will see.
This area is called Manial Al-Rawda, right?
Manial al-Rawda.
So can you talk to us about the Rawda Island, a
Yes,
very
yes,
important
yes.
one here in Egypt?
Actually, this area attracted a lot of people from the Alawiya dynasty. Ibrahim Pasha and Khedive Ismail, and the mother of the Khedive, the leader or the ruler, Abbas Hilmi first, had villas and palaces in this area. The area also attracted a lot of famous persons. Said Basha Dul Fakkar, who was who served as a prime minister twice in Egypt, had a villa here in the area, and there is a street and square belongs to him or attributed to him, Al Basha Square and Said Basha Street. Many famous people flocked to the area. We can mention Ibrahim al-Hilbawi, the famous lower and the first captain of lowers in Egypt. A lot of famous singers like Abdul Halim Hafiz and the.
Since you mentioned artists, allow me to ask you about Said Basha Dhul Faqqar. I mean, is the great late actor Salah Dhul Faqqar related to him?
I think the same.
And the director Izzeddin Dhul Faqqar.
The same family.
Yeah. Okay.
Kamal al-Shinawi, the movie.
Of course.
The famous movie star also.
Moved here in the area.
Here, yes, in the area. Abdul Halim Hafiz, the former president Anwar Sadat also lived here for a small period.
Yeah, it's of course it's a historic, beautiful part of Cairo.
And there is a lot of landmarks here in not only this palace. Nilometer or Mikyas Nile. This one of the Abbasid
Nile cruise was there and filmed there. Yes.
The mosque of Al-Ashraf Qaitbay here also. Kulthum Museum, Al-Ministerli Palace. A lot of landmarks here in Almania, not only Muhammad Ali Palace.
And Nile cruise was also in Ministerli, by the way. Lucky for us. So, Mr. Khamis, what are the nationalities of tourists that are mostly attracted to the palace?
We are receiving a lot of foreign nationalities from France, from Japan, from Germany, and a lot of Egyptians too. Yeah.
Good. So, as a museum curator, what is the most important part that attracts the attention of most visitors?
Actually, we can say that every part here is a masterpiece.
Walk us through.
Yeah,
Take us through a tour guide.
I am inviting you to visit the residence Saraya. I think it is the most attractive thing here. It consists of two floors. The first one consists of the fountain hall and Al-Shakma hall. Al-Shakma is a place was dedicated to women to sit inside and following what's happening in the fountain hall. Concerts.
Technology.
Yeah.
That's technology before
this is
technology.
All technology.
Yes.
Sea shells salon, and we have dining room also. The second floor consists of the rooms of the prince and another separate room to his wife, and some private bathrooms. It's a wonderful building.
It must be. So the prince was obviously a man interested in engineering, in green life, and he was humble, and he honored everyone who worked with him in building this palace. Can you tell us more about his characteristics?
Actually, once we enter the mosque here, in the beginning we will see two. First, we will see the foundation plates, and in front of this foundation plate, we will see all the names of the workers and the men who made the carpentry and the carpet and the calligraphy. All the persons who participated in the construction were mentioned here as an honor from the prince, and that was a very great thing.
That's a great act from the part of the prince. He got a higher ranking Arab and foreign cultures, and he was very religious. That's what we know about.
He was very religious and describes as a wise since his childhood. He one important hobby of the prince that he was very fond of purebred Arabic horses,
Uh-huh.
and he wrote books in this field. And because of this hobby, he fell down off his horse in his when he was young, and because of this incident, he had an injury prevented him from childbearing after his marriage.
Okay. He had a library, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was a man of culture. He loved culture.
He loved cultures.
He traveled
Yeah,
all around the world. That's what
all
we
around
understand.
the world and all
Yeah.
the continents.
Yes.
He traveled around the world and collected a lot of antiquities by auctions.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and buy gifts. A lot of princes and kings around the world give him a lot of gifts, and very soon we will open his private museum, which will contain all these antiquities. Very
Wonderful.
soon.
That's a wonderful piece of news. Looking forward to that.
Inshallah.
Event indeed. Mr. Khamis, you mentioned his writing of books. He had the Levantine journey, the Japanese journey.
Yes,
So
yes.
it seemed that wherever he went, he
Yes.
wanted to document what he saw and to transmit it
In
and
his
convey
library,
it. Yeah.
yeah. In his library, we will see a lot of books. He wrote all his experience, which he lived around the world in these books. The Japanese journey and
Levantine.
yeah, and another books also.
He was fond of science, literature, and politics. I mean, he was basically a man
He was
who loved culture, basically.
he loved cultures, and we will feel that in each part in this palace.
He was fluent in a range of languages.
Yes, he mastered
Yeah.
English and Turkish and
French?
and French, and he mastered the Arabic language. but-
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah, but speaking only, he was not fluent. He has not the skill to write Arabic, but just
Okay.
speaking only.
Okay. Mr. Khamis, let's make this the penultimate question, if you allow me. What about the political life of Prince Muhammad Ali?
Fortunately, Muhammad Ali didn't rule Egypt. He was appointed as a crown prince 3 times. First one, when his elder brother Abbas Hilmi II appointed him as a crown prince, but Abbas Hilmi II had a birth. The first son, Prince Muhammad Abdul Minim. Because of this reason, our prince lost this position, because Muhammad Abdul Minim had the right to be the ruler after his brother, after his father. Then Ahmad Fuad, the king Ahmad Fuad, again appointed him as crown prince, but again Ahmad Fuad got his first son, King Farouk, and at last Farouk appointed him in the 3rd time as a crown prince, but again he lost the position because Farouk also had a birth, had his son who is living until now, Prince or the king, we can say the former king Ahmad Fuad II. After that, the revolution of 1952 occurred. Because of this reason, all the family left.
And he went to Switzerland.
He
But
lived.
he, he recommended that he would be buried
Yes, and
here.
actually he's here in Afandina.
Well, he loved
He
Egypt.
loved
I mean,
Egypt,
was-
and
yeah.
he wished to rule it as his grandfather,
Yeah,
Muhammad
the
Ali,
great Muhammad
the
Ali.
great, and his name also is compound. His name is Muhammad. His first name is
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. He called after
Uh-huh.
his grandfather Muhammad Ali Pasha.
Well, I guess there's no better way to end this interview than to mention these great points. Thank
You
you
are
very
welcome,
much,
you are welcome.
Mr.
And we are
Hisham
inviting
Khamis.
you to visit the palace and enjoy with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for being with us, Mr. Hisham Khamis, the official responsible here for scientific archives and documentation at the palace. It's been a great pleasure. It's been very informative. Thank you. Dear viewers, please stay with us. Nile Cruise will be back.